Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Of My Chest and it's by user ThurarayWiseAd9350. Friend's girlfriend is accusing me of having a baby with him, which is absolutely ridiculous. I had this friend who used to have a very strong crush on me but never confessed. It was very obvious to everyone around. We were teenagers, grew apart, dated other people, and made our own lives. He moved to another state and has a long-term girlfriend, and I have been married to my husband for almost 6 years now, with 2 beautiful babies, and I'm currently pregnant. My friend, or former friend I should say, and I barely talk. The last time we had a conversation was when my youngest was born, and he texted me saying, "Congratulations." I replied, "Thanks," and that was literally it. My husband knows about him and the crush he had on me. They've met because we are a part of the same group of friends, and we've met his girlfriend too. There's no problem with that. I don't reach out to him. All of our conversations before this one were initiated by him, and they're always like, "Hello, how are you? Good, and you?" And that's it. I don't always reply. So that's the background. Let's now move on to the issue. My husband's family owns a small coffee shop and my former friend knows about it. I spend part of my afternoons there while I wait for my daughter to finish her activities. My mother and sister-in-law are often there, and my 3-year-old son and I stay with them for a couple of hours. So last Friday, I was surprised to find my former friend and his girlfriend at the coffee shop. They had rented a space there for a week since he came back to our city to do some photography and video work. He's a visual artist. Part of his team was with them. It was weird, but not a big deal. We crossed paths at the shop and we all greeted each other. They didn't know I was pregnant, and he looked kinda shocked, to be honest, which was weird and made me uncomfortable because he started acting as if he was nervous. They hadn't met my son before. This was the first time they saw him, and although he didn't really pay much attention to him, his girlfriend did. Honestly, it all made me feel really uneasy, especially when she started staring at my son so much that it gave me chills. My sister-in-law noticed it too, without even knowing who she was. I was texting my husband about it and decided to leave the place. My husband and I talked about it that night. He tried to give it a logical explanation, said it was odd, but maybe he chose the coffee shop because it felt familiar, and he said maybe the girlfriend wants to have kids herself, which is why she was staring so much. Anyway, I decided not to go back until they left the coffee shop for good. They rented it for an entire week. He said he could ask his mom to kick them out, but I didn't want to because it wouldn't be fair to her business. Then, that night, she tried to contact my husband through the coffee shop's Instagram, asking if he was sure our son was really his. That was literally the only text she sent. "Are you sure that baby is yours?" The text was sent at around 2 to 3 a.m. A bit later, she wrote, "He doesn't look like you at all." So it seems like this woman started spiraling, thinking that my husband's and my son is actually her boyfriend's. She described how our baby's hair is curly and light, but he has dark and straight hair. "My natural hair is curly and light. He's my baby too." My husband has no access to the shop's account, so the next day we were woken up by a call from my sister-in-law informing him about this. My husband is completely sure I never cheated on him, because I never cheated on him. Look, we weren't even in the country when our son was conceived. My husband was sent out of the country for work for a few months, and we all went with him. This is nuts. She said that 3 years ago, the former friend traveled to our city alone, and she now understands why. I also got some texts from my former friend asking if I had told something to his girlfriend, like he was accusing me of something. Accusing me of what? Tell her what? At this point, I just gave my phone to my husband so he could deal with them. I also started receiving very nasty texts and voice notes from her, calling me horrible things. I wanted to just block both of them, but my husband thought it was better to keep the messages in case we needed to get the police involved. On the other hand, my husband replied to her first message and told her he is 100% sure our son is his and that she should take her insecurities elsewhere. She asked if we had done a paternity test, and he said we don't need to. She's now demanding we do a paternity test if we have nothing to fear. Direct texts from her addressed to me have decreased. I'm staying locked in the house with the kids because we're afraid this woman might do something, as she seems unhinged. Of course, they weren't allowed back at the coffee shop. My mother-in-law also refunded their money because she doesn't want more problems and is beyond angry too. This is also so embarrassing. I can't stop crying. I don't feel in physical danger because they don't know where we live, but I am so full of rage that I can't stop crying. I know this stress is not good for the baby I'm carrying. This morning, my former friend called me. My husband was still at home, so he answered the call. He said his girlfriend does not believe anything he says and practically begged me to please do a paternity test so she can calm down. I already blocked them both. She's now using other accounts to comment on the coffee shop's Instagram, offending me, saying that our baby is an affair baby and I should be ashamed. At this point, I'm not even interested on making her understand. I just want her to stop. Wow, OP, this, as you said, is unhinged, and your former friend is such an idiot. Really asking you to do a paternity test just to placate to his crazy-ass girlfriend? I don't know, maybe he said something to her that it got her all riled up and is now demanding a paternity test, but again, it is absolutely crazy. So OP, maybe with the messages that you've got demanding paternity tests and all these wild accusations, take them to the police or to a lawyer so they can actually help you stop her. The other thing I would do is get ahead of the narrative. You said you guys are from the same friend group. Let your other friends know that this is going on and how crazy it is. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments. Adventurous Basis 280 says, she sounds unhinged and you need to put a restraining order on her. She isn't stopping and you need to take care of you and your family. You do not want her to escalate if she doesn't get the attention or response that she wants. Salient Mind says, it sounds like he came back to town 3 years ago. The girlfriend said, did you meet up with OP? And he was like, no. Then she did the crazy person thing and he did the enabling boyfriend thing. The meeting at the coffee shop was either coincidence or they rented the shop on purpose, but he didn't expect to see OP. He sees the kid, he knows what the crazy girlfriend is going to think instantly, so he's shocked. Then the crazy girlfriend fulfilled the prophecy and he continued to enable. And OK Administrator 7456 says, he gave her a reason to feel this way, I guarantee it. Tell them both you will not hesitate to sue for defamation. This could also hurt your business, which would be another lawsuit. OP's comment 1. So, my sister-in-law came to visit this evening. The girlfriend showed up at the coffee shop this afternoon. She was alone. She was calm and was looking for me. Said she only wants to know my version of how things happened, whatever that means. She's absolutely sure our baby boy is her boyfriend's son. Sad face. All this makes me want to throw up. She was escorted out and was told she's not welcomed there anymore. Sister-in-law is meeting her lawyer tomorrow and my husband will also talk to one tomorrow. Our parents will help us with the expenses so we don't have to stress about money and our upcoming baby. They are all alarmed and concerned. After reading some of your comments, we decided to unblock them. We just won't engage if they try to contact us. They are still blocked on the shop page and that will remain the same. I silenced my notifications and my husband will check my messages after work in case there's something. OP's second comment. Hey y'all, my husband has an appointment with a lawyer tomorrow. It was hard to get because it's all rushed, but he went to my sister-in-law's appointment with her lawyer to get some guidance about what we could do. We are sending a cease and desist letter today. This same lawyer warned my husband that in these cases, he has seen people lose their minds and things can escalate quickly. But if they decide to act on it, we will have more evidence against them. This lawyer is helping and guiding my husband to file for a protective order, and we hope we'll get it. I know our mutual friends are planning a reunion to see them today, and we are invited. Of course, we're not going. My sister-in-law is sending a cease and desist letter on behalf of their business too, so we'll be very cautious. I know they are staying with one of our friends. We are following this lawyer's advice for now. The most important thing he told us is to not do the test. We weren't planning on doing that anyway. Thank y'all. Wish us luck. Okay, so OP was quick to get things moving, so let's just move on to the update to see how the story ends. As sister-in-law's lawyer warned us, crap hit the fan pretty quickly. They received 2 cease and desist letters, one under in-law's business and one from us. These were written by sister-in-law's lawyer and delivered the same day, yesterday, as an emergency matter. I knew they were staying with one of our friends. As I mentioned in the comments on my last post, my husband met with a lawyer today. He will take our case and help us out. He also warned my husband that the girlfriend might get even crazier when she finds out we're taking legal action against them, and advised him to be ready for what might be coming. Until this point, my husband was a bit scared she might try to do something to our son or me, but deep down, he didn't believe she was capable of causing us physical harm. Until now. At first, we talked about me and the kids staying locked at home until they go back to their hometown, but then we decided to keep our routines with slight changes, mostly because our kids don't deserve to suffer the consequences of this woman's actions. Tuesday was alright and very calm, but today I was driving out of the garage to take our daughter to her dance lesson when the girlfriend crossed my path. I almost ran her over because I didn't see her. She wasn't screaming, but she was like, "Stop, stop, stop, stop." I did scream, sorry for my little ones, but I couldn't help it. Smiley face. I froze because what the hell was she doing there? How the hell did she find out where we live? Our daughter was like, yeah, whatever, but our daughter was terrified. The girlfriend moved to my side of the car and I think she wanted to talk, but I really didn't pay attention and couldn't hear her because Moana was playing in the radio. My daughter was crying, my son was starting to freak out, and I just kept driving in reverse to get the hell out of there. Now I'm thinking about a bunch of things I could have done, but in the moment, it was all chaotic and I just wanted to run away. I called the police when we were far from the house and went back a few minutes later. I was shaken. Then I called my husband and I took our daughter to the rest of her classes so she could be distracted. It worked for her, but not for me. Jeez, at least in the studio we were safe and surrounded by people. I asked our mutual friends if they had given her or him our address, but everyone swears on their lives that they didn't. I believe them? Yesterday, they had a reunion to which my husband and I were invited, but we refused to go because it was meant to catch up with the former friend and his girlfriend. She didn't show up, and our mutual friend told me the atmosphere was weird, to say the least. According to what they said, the former friend asked if I was coming, didn't ask about my husband, and kept discreetly bringing me up throughout the night. He only wanted to talk about this mess, asked if I was mad, and dared to say things could go back to normal if I were to do the test. He then proceeded to insult my husband, saying he was controlling me. Now, listen. Friends said maybe they misunderstood, but they think he implied my son could be his. I want to throw up. They shut him down because he was upsetting everyone and told him he was being lame, or so they say that's what happened. So the reunion ended earlier than expected. We weren't there, but I am angry. My husband is extremely angry, saying if he sees him, he's going to beat the crap out of him. I'm extremely worried for our son now. One of my female friends told me the girlfriend texted her, asking if the former friend was actually at the reunion with them and requested proof, to which my friend refused to send anything. I now realize it was around the same time she was messaging us on social media, insulting me and telling my husband how she was sure her boyfriend was banging me. Barf. I can't with this level of disrespect. Mind you, I was in my pajamas, lying on the sofa like a couch potato, watching TV with my husband at that moment. So, joke's on her. It was hard for my husband not to reply, but we are following the lawyer's instructions. We will proceed to sue her for defamation. It is very easy to prove our son was conceived when we were out of the country, but if needed, we'll do the paternity test, only if required by the court or if it helps to fix this sooner. We tried for a protective order on Tuesday. We will try again to get one tomorrow. And after the girlfriend showed up at our house and we filed the police report, our lawyer says we will get it for sure as an emergency resource. Legally, she can't visit the coffee shop either. We're staying at my sister-in-law's place tonight. None of my friends know we're here, and they don't even know where she lives. The kids are alright, they know something is going on, but they seem to be at peace. Our daughter was back to normal after her dance lessons. She is excited because she gets to have a sleepover with her cousin. Our son was mad because he misses his bed. Yeah, buddy, I'm not buying it. It's the same bed where it's so hard to put him down. Lol. He gets to sleep with mom and dad tonight. Though I don't think I'll be able to sleep. My husband is out installing a Ring camera at our house just in case she, he, or both show up. His dad is helping him, so he's not alone, but I will feel more in peace when he comes back to us. We decided I'm staying here with our son tomorrow. I work from home, so it's not a problem for me. My husband will take and pick up our daughter from school. I'm not scared anymore, but I really am. I'm mostly very angry at both of them, but I'm remaining calm for my baby. I'm just focusing on the fact that we are safe at the moment, and that's working to ease my mind. Once my husband gets back to us, I'll be totally at peace. Right now, all I want to do is cry and be with my husband and our kids. Sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and my mom keep telling me it's like a stress release and hormones are making it worse for me. It's Wednesday. They're supposed to leave on Friday or Saturday. I don't know, but during this weekend, or that's what we assume. Not having them physically near us will be a great relief. I just want this to end. OP, what a horrible experience, but hopefully it will be over soon once you have that protective order and they leave. So in the meantime, here's wishing you and your family the best in the future. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Zenon Chosnek. Include questions from students. About 20 years ago, I studied to become a physics teacher. As part of our curriculum, we had a thing called Didactics Lab. It was a lab where they had some basic devices such as electrostatic machines, pneumatic bench, simple toys, and tools. The drill was that one week we were preparing some experiments and planning a lesson, and the next week actual school children would come and we would present our experiments to them and teach them physics. The lab was run by an older professor who was pretty laid back and a young PhD candidate who was doing everything to show us how important she was. As a part of our preparation week, we had to prepare lesson plans in which we would indicate our aims, our methods, and predicted outcome. This is what teachers do in regular work, and as my mom was a teacher, I was familiar with the format, so I was simply writing everything as required, including a brief description of the lesson like, teacher presents the experiment and explains the science behind, then answers questions from students, etc. The PhD candidate thought this is not enough and demanded that I write a much more detailed plan, including the exact questions the students will ask. I told her it's impossible because I can't predict what questions will be asked. She told me to extrapolate on the basis of the questions asked by students during previous classes, so I did. My next lesson plan looked as follows. Teachers switches the electrostatic machine on. Girls are screaming, boys are laughing at them. One of the boys throws a paper ball at the girls, his pals laugh. The girls are outraged and demand for a teacher to do something. One of the girls asks, "Do you really want to be a teacher? My mom says their pay is crap." Another boy examines the equipment sitting on the shelves and says, "My neighbor has a basement full of such electronic crap. What do you think he needs it for?" The teacher tries to conduct the experiment. He is interrupted by a girl announcing, "My auntie is a physics teacher as well, but she lives in another town." One of the boys asks if he can go to the toilet, and so on and so forth. It was like 10 pages long instead of the usual page or two. The PhD candidate was outraged and told me those are stupid questions that no student would ever ask, and that I should write only the smart questions. I told her she told me to extrapolate on the basis of previous interactions with the students, and the questions and students' behavior I wrote about already happened to me at least once. She sent me to the laid-back professor, who read my whole plan, chuckling all the way, and told her that I obviously understand kids already, so I don't have to write my lesson plans anymore. Apart from one page of brief description of the experiment I planned, The PhD candidate was avoiding me for the rest of the class, but I got a good grade in the end. Well, OP, you did exactly what she asked. She wanted you to be more precise in your prediction of how your experiment would go and the interaction with the children regarding the questions they would ask, and that's exactly what you did. I guess your level of thoroughness is better than the PhD candidates. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.